Halal supply chain. This is the main topic of our today webinar. Halal supply chain management. Basically, this is defined as the management of a halal network with the objective to extend halal integrity from the source to the consumer purchase point. Mean from these raw materials to consumption, from farm to fork, each and every step and each and every segment must be covered under this line, that is halal supply chain. From, for example, if we talk about the ketchup products, if we talk about the jams products, if we talk about the cheese product, in case of fruits and vegetables, the process of supply chain and especially halal supply chain starts from the farmers, the insecticides and the pesticides used at farm level, the harvesting practices, the treatment, any kind of treatment to the plants, to the fruits and vegetables at the time of harvesting and cultivation. Then after cultivation, same procedures and practices adopted in transportation, packaging, same observed in warehouse facilities, then food industry, main production facilities, the validation process, the processing steps, the adding of flavors, colors, chemicals, preservatives, and stabilizers, and then again the packing material that is directly related, the directly contact with the food item, and then to the retail market, and then retail market to the consumers. Mean each and every step is under the umbrella of halal supply chain. That's why halal supply chain is defined as the management of halal network with the objective to extend halal integrity from the source to the consumer purchase point. Okay. The halal food supply chain is a significant issue, especially for Muslim consumers. Yes, and especially it's a significant matter for our food supply, for our food manufacturers, our dairy producers, our fruits and vegetable processors, our spice manufacturing industries, our chocolate and confectionery based and beverage based industries, and food suppliers, all suppliers providing food to these facilities and entities that cater to the Muslim market. This is a very, very important segment of traceability, the very important segment of our halal ecosystem, the very important segment of our halal supply chain management. That is because the globally Muslim consumers increasing day by day, and this is a globally a very large industry, especially a halal industry, a $1 trillion industry, and growing gradually with the increase in Muslim population and increase on the demand of halal products. Consumers are demanding because he know that halal certified product is safe, that is healthy, that is wholesome, and that is nutritious, and that is abides by all the rules, regulations, principles, and orders of Almighty Allah and the statements of Holy Quran and act of Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Among the integral activities and issues within the halal supply chain include the especially that is halal food integrity. That is very important. What are the food ingredients in that specific product, the cleaning, sanitation, and hygiene of that product, the hygiene of personals, the hygiene of infrastructure, the hygiene of equipments, the hygiene of utensils used for production, for processing, and for packaging of that product, the health and safety issues, and the nutrition and quality. That is very important. Especially Mufti Arif Ali Shah from a certification body, that is Sanha, Pakistan. He also drafted a guideline and drafted a booklet on quality and food safety in the light of Islam. This is very important about the halal food integrity. Then second most important is halal slaughtering. Either the animal, either the poultry or bird slaughtered as per the Islamic laws and principles and guidelines by the Almighty Allah. It includes poultry and meat slaughtering processes that should comply with the Sharia principles. Only those animals are called as halal which are slaughtered as per Sharia and Islamic guidelines and principles. And then is halal logistics and marketing, the storage principles, the storage practices, the distribution practices, and display of halal and haram product. Halal food integrity, halal supply chain, and halal logistics and marketing. These 3 points we are discussing in our upcoming slides with details and descriptions. However, according to Halal Industry Development Corporation, Malaysia, the halal supply chain includes all activities such as procurement, such as preparation of halal ingredients for manufacturing, and delivery of the final product to the consumer. These lines clearly state that from purchase, from raw material, from fork to fork, from processing, the packaging material, the transportation channels, that halal product and haram product transported separately, packed separately, and processed separately. And then delivery of the final products to the consumers. This is the best lines for knowledge of halal food supply chain dimensions, and the dimensions includes the halal animal feed. Yes, that's very important. Halal, in case of animal-based product, it is related with animal feed, and in case of plant-based product, it directly correlates the treatment, the pesticide treatment applied on the crops. Might be possible, some drops or some residues of that pesticide or that chemical transmit and diffuse to the inside of that food articles and particles. Then halal slaughtering in case of animals. Then halal handling and storage, halal packaging, halal logistics, and then halal retail. These are the fundamental dimensions of halal food supply chain, from raw material to end product, from farm to fork. Especially in the discipline of food science, we are using the word from farm to fork concept. Now we are describing each segment, and this is the key and integral part of our today session. That is halal animal feed, halal slaughtering, halal handling and storage, packaging, logistic, retail. We are discussing and describing these all terminologies and segments one by one. Number one is halal animal feed. According to Sharia law, animals that are to be slaughtered, ऐसा जानवर जिसको आपने ज़बीहा की तरफ लेके जाना है, वो जानवर must be fed with a good, clean, permitted, and legally nutritious food in order to produce good halal meat. This is a fundamental right, and this is also the right of corporate social responsibility of animals, CSR of animals too, that the animals which are going to be slaughtered must be fed with good, clean, permitted, and legally nutritious food, mean healthy and wholesome food, and that food should be legally allowed within the premises of that organization or that area or that region or premises to produce good halal meat. Then the halal slaughtering, as per Maulana Yusuf Raza Qaradawi, the slaughterer must be a Muslim, a competent Muslim. He knows about the rules and regulations and rulings of Islam. He knows about the fundamentals of Islam. He knows about the statement lies in the Quran Pak. He knows about the act and activities of Muhammad, peace be upon him. And there are specific requirements for slaughtering process according to Sharia. Maulana Yusuf Raza Qaradawi clearly said that the slaughtered must be a competent Muslim. He has a sharp knife and it is used to slaughter the animal with tasmiyah in the name of Allah Almighty is recited openly with clear voice and listenable voice. Individually, he used the words tasmiyah in the name of Allah openly. And Islam stresses animal welfare before and after the slaughter. Animal welfare is a fundamental component. And animal welfare and corporate social responsibility is very important. Islam clearly states that in Quran, and this is a clear statement that the animal which is going to be slaughtered must be fed with good, clean, and nutritious food, and avoid to harm that animal which is going to be slaughtered. This is the right of animal. This is the right of animal from the Almighty Allah. Animals are treated in a good manner, and to ensure they are not stressed or excited prior to slaughter. They are nourished, well rested, and given drinking water while in the holding area. These lines basically relates with the animal welfare and corporate social responsibility. Then halal handling and storage. The first one is halal animal feed. The second one is halal slaughtering, and we use the words of Quran and especially Maulana Yusuf Raza Qaradawi. And then now is halal handling and storage. At this stage, the primary responsibility of slaughterers and meat handlers is to monitor the segregation of halal products from non-halal products. This is the responsibility of slaughtermen or slaughterers and meat handlers. Their fundamental responsibility to monitor and observe the segregation of halal products from non-halal products. Those products must be segregated with clear firewalls. And the handling material for halal food must be clean and safe to be consumed by Muslim consumers. And the material for halal food and non-halal food shall be separated. This is the mandatory requirement in Pakistan standard and in Malaysian standard MS 1500:2019, that the materials, that the equipment used for halal food and non-halal food must be clearly segregated and separated. And the material should be used for halal food must be clean and safe to be consumed by Muslim consumers. It is imperative that food manufacturers ensure that none of the equipment and machinery is associated with haram or najas materials. The reference is quoted here, the Cheeman and Sazili writes is 2010. I clearly add the reference, and I quoted the reference along with the lines from which I picked these lines. It is clearly mentioned that the equipments, the utensils, the machinery used for production of halal and haram must be segregated and separated. Especially in the baking industry, we are using the brushes, we are using different kinds of product, and for halal food handling, the brush used as bakery equipment should be synthetic, mean plastic, and not made from any kind of animal hair that is not halal, that is haram. For example, pig. This is the clear guidelines. We need to be very vigilant for production of halal food, and for in halal industry, and especially being a certifier, any certifier, any auditor, any certification body, halal certification body must be very vigilant that the equipment, the allied equipment, the direct equipment and indirect equipment used for the production of halal food, they must know the source of that equipment from which they made and what are the source of that equipment. Therefore, a halal supply chain should ensure that there is no contamination between halal and haram or anything in between. Omar and Jaffer 2011, this is the reference of this line. Halal and non-halal food supply should not be stored in same storage area or any cold room, even if the temperature is maintained. It means that the storage area, the preparation area, the cleaning, the sanitize, the retail area, these all shall be separated from halal and non-halal. The stores must be different. The storage racks, the storage tanks should be separated. Then is halal packaging. One source of consumer information is the product label that is displayed on the product package. In general, packaging must perform the two basic functions of marketing and logistics. Packaging may be used because most of them we are food technologists, and packaging must be maybe a primary packaging, that may be a secondary packaging or tertiary packaging. And the fundamental benefits and objectives of packaging, the functions of packaging is to protect the product, for convenience, for ease to handle, easy to market, easy to identify, to maintain the internal texture of product, to avoid from dirt, dust, particles. These all are the functions of packaging, and especially primary packaging. As per the Pakistan standard, Pakistan PS 3733-2019, and as per Malaysian standard MS 1500:2019, this is the mandatory requirement for certification of packaging material that is directly contacted with the food products, cosmetic products, pharma products. This is a mandatory requirement that the packaging material should be halal certified. The marketing function is to provide product information and promote products through the use of color, size, brand names, and the halal logo. Yes, these are, we are also seeing that a company market themselves, market their products with different designs and logo. Meanwhile, the basic functions of packaging are logistic functions, including arranging, protecting, and identifying products and materials before they reach the customer. Accordingly, the general function of packaging have the same functions for halal products. As we are using the general packaging rules and regulations for different products, different standards like FSCC, like BRCGS packaging standard, like IFS packaging standards, and especially FSSC requirement. These all are same as per halal, but in halal, the specifically mentioned that the raw material, the packaging material, the raw material being used for making a packaging material should be from the source of halal raw materials. In addition, packaging material for halal products should also be made from materials that are halal. Yes, that is very important. The packaging material for halal products should also be made from material that are halal. And halal producers must have a certification symbol to indicate that their products abide by Sharia law. Must have halal certification symbol to indicate that their products abide by the Sharia law. And the halal certificate communicates the high quality and standard of halal products. It does not mean that the products is halal certified and the halal certifies the product compromised on quality. The product compromised on its integrity. The certified halal certified product should be quality wise a best product. Then logistics. This is a very important terminology, and nowadays and in future too, this is very important tool, and this is the best opportunity, especially for certification bodies, the halal certifiers, the halal advisors, the halal experts. That logistics sector is also covering by the halal umbrella, and the implementation from farm to table operations in the halal industry has opened up opportunities for those involved in logistic industry, including ports, including shipping and freight, forwarding, warehousing, and handling facilities. Mean all segments of logistics, all includes ports, shipping, freight forwarding, warehousing, and handling for facilities. In all these sectors, segments, and steps, the halal standard must be implemented, and the fundamentals and basic guidelines of Islamic rules and regulations must be applied on all these sectors in future and in current scenario too. And in terms of transportation of halal products, halal and non-halal goods are carried or loaded in separate containers. Yes, this is the requirement. This is the requirement in Pakistan standard PS 3733. This is the requirement in UAE standard. This is the requirement in Malaysian standard, that is MS 1500, and all other international standards, that the products, the containers, the transporting method, the transporting vehicle, the transporting channels, the equipments, and the utensils used for halal and non-halal foods should be segregated and shall be segregated and separated. This is the fundamental requirement. If any industry, if any organization, if any institute not obeying and following these rules, then this is not that product or that facility not certified against halal certification, because this is not comply the clause of halal logistics and halal supply chain products. Then this is the last dimension of halal food supply chain, that is retail. Retail sector is growing in Pakistan and in globally already growth sector, and that is very important sector, the retail sector. Here is important to mention that if our retail sector, if Pakistan retail sector, if they move forward, if they take a proactive approach, they may be market-driven leaders to promote the halal foods and halal products in Pakistan. This is my point of view. If Pakistan retail sectors decide to purchase and to procure only that raw material, either that is from pharmaceutical product, either that is from cosmetic product, either that is from food items, either that is from other chemical products, plastic products, they all are halal certified, and halal certified by a competent halal certification body accredited by Pakistan National Accreditation Council in case the manufacturing facility in Pakistan, or in case of from the foreign, or in case of imported products, they must be halal certified by a competent halal certification body accredited from their national accreditation body, which has a mandate to accredit the halal certification body. This sector should play a great role. The distribution and retailing of halal food is also an important aspect to be considered, and food could be contaminated while being distributed to retailers or while on display in the retail stores. What is the basic fundamentals and basic guidelines, especially in retail sector? That is, halal products are often segregated from non-halal products while on sale in stores. Retail sector should apply a critical checkpoint and critical control point that the halal product and non-halal products should be separately placed in stores. For example, in big markets, in supermarkets, in hypermarkets, or in the Pakistan context, we are using the names of Pakistan's leading retail sector, that is Metro, that is Carrefour, that is Imtiaz, Chezab, Rahim Store, Euro Store, Al Fateh Mall, and so on. Punjab Cash and Carry, Bin Qasim, Jadid. These all are big supermarkets and big hyper malls in Pakistan. In these malls, in these markets, haram drinks, alcoholic drinks are separated from other drinks, that is from halal source, and stacked on separate shelves and labeled non-halal. If there is any product that is mandatory for patients, for non-Muslims, no issue. But that non-halal products should be segregated from halal products, and their shelves and their area of sales must be on different side and clearly mention that this is non-halal and these are halal products, so that consumers are aware of the drink ingredients. And the quality departments, and especially the quality assurance heads, their purchasing heads, their heads of procurement, their heads of supply chain, they are the integral part and the main key players to promote, to implement, and sustain the halal assurance systems in their respective stores, in their respective retail sectors, to aware the suppliers, to aware their consumers, to aware their clients and vendors, to promote the safe, healthy, and halal products. And the consumer markets and the consumer associations may play a vital role to educate, to aware the consumer that only demand the product that is halal and that is certified halal from the competent halal certification bodies accredited by national accreditation body, which has a mandate to accredit the halal CB. This is a market-driven approach. The retail sectors should emphasize on their raw materials. The consumers emphasis on the product which they are purchasing against payment, against money. This is the consumer right to demand that the product should be a halal and the product should be safe and healthy and wholesome. The process of manufacturing should ensure the separation of halal ingredients from non-halal ingredients such as pork, alcohol, or any other related products. And the halal supply chain also ensures animal feed. We are discussing in our previous slides. This is animal welfare, proper segregation between halal and non-halal food during distribution, in storage, handling, transportation, and retailing. These all are we are discussing, that is halal animal feed, halal slaughtering, halal packaging, halal handling and storage, halal retail. And the slaughter process is based on Islamic regulations. in which Muslims use sharp knife and recite the Bismillah and related prayers before the slaughtering process. And as we are discussing about the Maulana Yusuf Raza Qarzavi, Maulana Yusuf Raza Qarzavi states that the slaughterer should be a competent Muslim and should know the basics and fundamentals of Islam. And same, the Maulana Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi Rahmatullah Alayh describes in this book on Halal and Haram that the slaughterer and the should be a competent and sound Muslim.